Let's fly. Everything is ready. Everything works. From the screw, reactive. Well, I command to take off. All great discoveries are made by idealists and adventurers, and their fruits are used by marketers, and as a rule, people of genius are forgotten by everyone. But not today. I will tell you about the Acrobat Cat. I will tell you first of all, which did not want to ride on this wonderful vehicle called GMV2, about which I will try to tell you today. I will try to tell enthusiastically, but it seems to me that this will not work. The year 1970 is in full swing. Gudrun Mikhail Filipovich decided to develop, from his point of view, a stunning snowmobile, which he called the GMV2. This is an abbreviation, Gudrun Mikhail Vsevolod. Vsevolod is his son. This is the second machine of his invention. The first was more like a snowmobile. This device is made from, what would you think? From an airplane. And not a simple aircraft, but the IL-28, the first Soviet jet frontline bomber, which was in service from 1950 to 1980. Mikhail Filipovich took the fuselage from the bomber, made it lighter, cut it off. Yes, I think I pronounced the title correctly. And what we see in front of us turned out. What do you see first? And you see, of course, in the first place, the wings from the 53rd GAZ, optics from the 53rd GAZ. And initially, all this incomprehensible things were not there. These strange wheels with a strange offset. I don't know what else, everything is strange here. All this was not originally there because the car was planned as a snowmobile. But the 90s made amendments to the ideas, and Mikhail Filipovich Gudrun considered that this amazing device should travel on the road. And he added these very incomprehensible wheels. And all this from a helicopter, by the way. These things, planes, helicopters, I'll tell you about the wheels separately. This is a separate story. Here the whole car, except for emotions, causes nothing. And he planned to release them. 40, how it is called, bodies, 40 fuselages were prepared in Togliatti for the production of these vehicles. This car, and this counts as a car, it even has a license plate on it. It can go 50 miles an hour. And you will see how it goes later. But let's study the construction. It is really interesting. Just don't ask me why I'm dressed like that. This is a tank overalls, and tankers, you know, don't have such long legs. And I portray, of course, a pilot. Wheels. Magnesium discs from the A-29 training aircraft. The front suspension is from the VAZ-2101. Of course, the purpose of the transport device affects the design. Due to the fact that initially it was still a snowmobile, and there were skis here, the steering mechanism was not designed for, how to say, the right turns, and they couldn't think of anything more ingenious than to take out such an axle. You understand where the wheels turn, don't you? But that's not all. This is a rear-wheel drive car, with a drive on one wheel from the Tu-134 aircraft. By the way, here is a hydraulic rear axle. Oh, and more. Inside there is a receiver, a hydraulic pump, and it allows you to raise the rear suspension, increasing the ground clearance to 20 inches. Again, this is set up this way mainly to load the rear wheel or load the track after all. This moment is well thought out. We will not ride the Caterpillar, because it is suicide, and today I am not in the mood for it. Maybe if I don't break this miracle machine today, I'll show you when it snows, how it drives. But I very much doubt it, because in principle, very strongly doubt it. It is difficult to treat this vehicle as a car, but still, by and large, this is some kind of car, no matter how embarrassing it is for us. It was done, very ingeniously, because the main part, tanks, some kind of hydraulic cylinders here, everything is from an airplane. But here there is a box from the 21st Volga and a rear axle from GAZ. The engine is from the UAZ-469ZMZ 451M. You probably already heard about it from me, but I repeat, 153 cubic inches, about 79 horses. For this car, the engine is not bad, because it works well, as it were, on the bottoms. Well, in general, the motor is enough. because the way everything is arranged here, to be honest, from my point of view, is brilliant. I wouldn't be able to do that. In garage conditions, in quotation marks, do something similar. Gearshift rods are used here. I'll show you, again, in the belly of the aircraft, in the cabin, in the wheelhouse. I don't know how to say it correctly. Here everything is on the rods. There is no standard box. There is no standard switching. Everything is on aircraft traction. Everything is prepared. Crop rear axle, 2 chain drives that drive, in this case, 1 aircraft wheel. In a good position, in a good case, this is not an epic Caterpillar, which you will also see a little later. There are 2 tanks on the sides, each of which is more than 25 gallons. Fuel. There is a tank for an autonomous stove hanging there so that you understand. This is terrifying. Because the radiator is located in front, behind the back of the passengers. You may ask, how did they install license plates on it? And in fact, everything is very simple. 94.5 inches, the width of this vehicle, which kind of falls under the dimensions allowed for operation on federal, on ordinary roads. Therefore, everything was possible in the 90s, and I miss them very much. That's the only way you can get into this stunning 4-seater salon. Landing is such a thing, I want to tell you. Close, narrow. Here, the cockpit of a strategic bomber, a jet bomber, is almost completely preserved. Of course, with minor additions from the creator of this vehicle. What we have, the instrument panel from Pobeda integrated into the aviation panel. The steering wheel is from a disabled car. The ignition switch is from the Volga. Conveniently enough, the car has a self-contained 7.1-gallon gas heater that allows you to warm up the interior independently of the engine. And, also, the radiator, which I was talking about, is located here. This contributes to overheating of this vehicle. Also, a coil of an autonomous heater, electric, is installed in the engine. It is integrated into the oil pan. Salon 4-seater, hydraulic control here. There is also the most necessary thing. This is a crooked starter. Quadruple saloon, what else to say? It's not convenient at all, that's what. And now the gearbox. The algorithm is amazing. The right lever, by the way, is also the remnants of the aircraft. Right lever neutral and reverse. The first, second, third speed are switched sequentially. In theory, it should be warm. But sadly, half of them don't work. It's a pity. Like all homemade cars in the Soviet Union, this vehicle was made from ownerless things. Where did he get such ownerless things, you ask? But I don't have an answer to this question. I'm most interested. Well, it so happened that the creator had a large number of some kind of aircraft parts at hand, which he very competently integrated, took advantage of Soviet inventions. That is, here, in fact, 50% of aviation's spare parts are obtained. Not spare parts, most likely parts, and a lot is still working. For example, interior light. Everything turns on. It is clear that time did not spare many components and assemblies, but the ingenuity of the design cannot but amaze. Yes, everything is heavy. It is an unbearable machine in curb weight. It weighs about 1 ton 900 kilograms, but it can pull a trailer of about 900 kilograms, which in itself, you see, is very good performance. It is clear that it was originally planned as a snowmobile. For a snowmobile, everything here is done to feel comfortable, including at high, or rather at low, sub-zero temperatures. It is clear that there should have been a snowmobile. But as a car, it's just some kind of heresy. I'll tell you a secret. Visibility? Well, it does not exist as such, forward and only forward. How to sit? Well, to put it mildly, it is inconvenient, because after all, this is not the part of the aircraft in which the pilots were sitting. This is a cropped fuselage, just like. How is it correct to say in Russian? Simulating the nose of an aircraft, but this is by and large the central part of the fuselage. But, all technical developments, all technical ideas embodied in this vehicle, and this is a vehicle, because I still cannot call it a car, are patented. For each, I don't know, steering wheel mount, caterpillar, suspension, the creator has a patent for everything. Or rather, the creator had a patent, because the creator is no longer alive. Here's what I found. This is to the question that the car is registered. Getting started. But in general, to put it mildly, it is very scary. Brakes. Oh, there's nothing. Speed. Strange sensations. Very strange sensations. It is almost impossible to squeeze out the clutch, because the cable is so long that I don't know. I have a feeling that I am trying to squeeze the interior, and not squeeze the clutch, crumple it. Crumple it, how it sounds, crumple it. And I haven't even started turning it yet. So, we turn off the speeds. We are trying to start up again. Rear. And now you will understand why it is impossible to turn on it at all in principle. In general, if you remember, it is calculated that this car can go 50 miles per hour on the highway. 50 miles. But aircraft brakes are designed to bring this closet to a halt in 25 feet at 25 miles per hour. Cool, I'm stuck again. So, how is it here? How is it here? I'm panicking. I'm already panicking. How to turn off the speed? It seems to me that this is a martyr's car. It must. After driving this vehicle, virgins are waiting for you in paradise. Virgins, heavenly places. Although, I have the right to travel around the Moscow Ring Road. I have everything for this. Well, let's try. So, the neutral. The gear shift scheme. Oh, I found neutral. No. Should we try turning left? What do you think? Come on.
Yeah, как есть.
Guys, maybe you need to push it? With all the technically competent solutions, it turned out to be just a terrible car. Probably worse, I don't know. There is nothing worse. Cycle rickshaws are probably worse. I'm already exhausted, and I still haven't traveled a meter as a human being. I feel cramped. My left foot does not squeeze the clutch. Basically a nightmare. Let's go. Well, boys, come on. That's it. This is what happens too. This is not how I imagined the life of an autoblogger. In fact, everything was hydraulic, the clutch was also hydraulic, but the pump was turned off, and this is a complete tin, therefore, in fact, it does not go. But, guys, a puzzle, write in the comments, spare parts from which cars, helicopters, planes, you see in this vehicle. There is no need to write about TU-134. The down plane turned out. How are you there?
A little tight.
Is it normal?
Not good.
Let's go in a straight line, probably ride. And what? The clutch is again a disc.
It boils.
Still boiling. And it boils and smokes. What an invention, comrades. There is something to strive for. Beauty. There is no engine, a reactor is installed, brilliant, it's all feng shui. Here, you see, a personal file.
We are known.
Yes, I put here a signature that I won't break anything. Who else do girls see off on a flight?
Thanks a lot.
Well, about the strangeness of the design, you yourself already understood everything. I already look forward to your critical comments about the open brake drums. That is, it is categorically impossible to press the brake while driving, probably. Well, here is such a construction, I have nothing to do with it, honestly, believe me. Now the catchphrase. What for you was a few seconds, for us it was 3 months. I won't tell you about how the Caterpillar engine was installed, because the amount of Russian folklore used during the installation of this piece, well, you probably don't need to hear for sure. Because it broke the psyche of more than one mechanic. What do we see? This is exactly what I told you not so long ago. So, this is a type of Caterpillar drive patented by the inventor that weighs over 650 pounds. Accordingly, to put it in 5 minutes, well, it is almost impossible. Shock-absorbing element, only 2 springs in front. How is it stretched? This is an interesting question. That is, you must completely shove this carriage here. And then, again, remembering, I don't know, all mothers, organs, pull the chains. Honestly, I don't know what the designer was counting on. The Caterpillar is tensioned, in principle, with the help of 2 bolts. They are located there. But this is the chain tension, the tension of the Caterpillar itself due to springs inserted into a non-epic pipe, which, I don't know, was used from a swing or from a water pipe. The pipe is definitely not taken from here. Well, this is a monumental invention. There are no words. It's as scary as the rest of the car. You know, my dears, I have seen everything in this life. The number of transport vehicles that I have traveled around is not in the hundreds, it is already thousands of vehicles. But this car, this vehicle, made me really tired. I don't know why, or how to feel about it. It would be desirable, probably, to tell something good, eternal. Thank God that they did not go into production and do not roam the expanses of our motherland. That's it. The Russian land is full of machines for the apocalypse. I have found one for myself. Aliens don't scare me. They call it, but whatever they call it, to me, this is a little Lucifer, and he, by the way, is also dead. The hunt continues.